Hey everyone, so it's been a really long time since I've posted a video. A lot has changed in the world. A lot of crazy stuff had happened. So about 2 years ago, when everything started getting pretty crazy, my family bought some property outside the city. We had about 14 acres that we're slowly developing a homestead on. So I'm going to show you what we've done so far up to this point. So really last year started doing a lot of the garden, the fruit trees, the fruit shrubs, the food forest, all of that. So I'm going to show you right now what I've done so far. So here's a little picture of the lower part of our property. And so we have a lot of deer here. So we put up a deer fence. We use all of these posts that came directly from the property, from some of the trees that were cut down right before we bought it. And so I think we have probably about 2/3 of an acre sort of marked off for this garden. And this is the opening to it. And it goes all the way around this area right here. Last year, I think I planted about 50 fruit trees all around here. Wasn't really able to water it that much, right when I got them in. So we lost about half of them, but the other half are still going good. Looks real nice with all these daisies growing here. But you can see the fence line all around there. And this here is the garden that I've been really working on this year. So let me show you here. In this area of the county, or this area here, the garden gets full sun. It's all day long it gets sun. And what I realized last year is that since we're not here all week, and I do have some drip irrigation, but that's a little sketchy the way I have it set up. Sometimes we get leaks and it kind of runs out, or the water runs out. So I put up shade cloth. And I noticed last year when I put up shade cloth, the part that was shaded out, I think it was 40% shade cloth, the stuff grew way better. I think that direct sun just really dries out the soil. And so I just finished yesterday putting up shade cloth here over the entire garden. And I'm gonna show you a little closer look here. So you can see I put up the shade cloth, all these T-posts. And then I think I have this 14 gauge wire going all around the edges. Down there I have rope. This has been a lot of work. So this I think is about 10 yards of compost that I had brought in, but it was brought in at the top of the property. So I have had to load it all up, shovel it up in the side by side, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down the property to get it all in here. And then I have fir bark as the mulch all around it. That's been the last month has been quite a bit of work. So here, this first row, you can see I have all my onions, and there's 3 different type of onions. I bought them from Territorial Seed, which is pretty close to here. I think it's about 350 onions I planted. You see I have drip irrigation. I have it all set up, but I don't have it operating at the moment. These are all potatoes that I put in this year. I say this year because I'll show you something else that I got. I actually have some squash that I just planted last week around the edges, just because I kind of ran out of space and didn't know where to plant them. Bunch of tomatoes. And I just put in this trellis so I can start wiring them up as they grow. They're not looking great, and I'm wondering if it's add some complete organic fertilizer that I'm going to mix together here soon. That the recipe of whatever you want to call it, the mixture that I got from Steve Solomon's book, which is great. You can see one died right there. More tomatoes. Last year, I followed Paul Gauchi's method, and the potatoes that I planted, when I harvested them, I took the biggest potato of each plant and I put it back into the ground. And so this year, that's what's growing up along here. These are last year's potatoes, all along the edge, right here, on there, and all along this one here. And again, more tomatoes. They're looking a little bit yellow, which I'm not quite sure why that is. But like I said, I'm gonna add some of that fertilizer today. Peppers, eggplants, and then some brassicas down over there. Cucumbers, more tomatoes. Here I have these were onions that I planted from sets, but they're not looking that great. This whole bed, last week I planted carrots. You can kind of they're starting to come up. But again, I didn't have the shade cloth over this part until this weekend. So I'm pretty sure that's probably why not a lot of them have sprouted. So I've been really watering it heavy. And then this one here, same thing, except for I put in parsnips. This is all edamame. Looks great. Planted it last week. And this is all the corn that I planted last week. And so, again, that's the garden. It's starting to look really nice. All my fruit trees are basically all around the edge of the perimeter of the property. So you can kind of see right there. That's a Asian pear tree. You know, so I got a couple apples survived, a couple pear trees survived. And then some of my pluots survived. You know, about half the trees survived. All my blueberries fried. So I think I was tried to do too much last year, and I think I wasn't able to care for all of it at the same time. So I need to start doing it little by little so I can really establish the system of each component. You know, this year is really getting the garden done, operating really well, all the drip irrigation, all the shade cloth, you can see that. And then maybe next year I'll start slowly doing the food forest. Maybe planting some more trees and maybe watering them a little more this year. So again, our idea is that we want to develop this property as a homestead. We already got a well put in, we got septic put in, and then we come here most of the weekends. But it's an ongoing project. That's why I haven't posted in a long time. But from here on out, my idea is to try to get a few more things posted and show you how the whole homestead develops. So until next time, we'll see you later.